Hello, guys. Thanks for hopping on here. I'm excited to chat with everybody this morning. And I'm going to go through a little bit of presentation and slides and stuff, just in case you guys are interested in more details about how starting a bookkeeping business would work for your family. But I really, really love to make these calls very interactive. So, feel free to type in the chat if you guys have any questions during this process. And I'm happy to elaborate and answer those particular questions so you guys can see if taking advantage of this tax season special is going to be something that you want to do. Good morning, Carrie. I'd love to know where you guys are all tuning in from. Currently, right now, based out of Lee Summit, Missouri, which is really near Kansas City, which is exciting. It just snowed last night again for some crazy reason, but we are excited to get going. Oh, Brussels, Ontario. Awesome. And Beatty is from Silicon Valley, California, so it's probably nice there. I love that area. All right, Kirksville. I know where that is, Morgan. Very cool. You are very close to me. How cool. So, Northwest Arkansas, awesome. Atlanta, Georgia. Wow, you guys are all over from everywhere. This is awesome. Yes, and that's what's cool about starting your own, online business is that you can work with people, clients like I can work with you guys no matter where you're based. But then if you guys decide to start a bookkeeping business, you'll be able to work with clients all over the country as well, which is really, really cool. It makes it very flexible for everyone. So I'm curious for those of you that guys that are on right now, have any of you been on one of our webinars before in the past, or have you guys watched a recording? So just kind of curious if any of you guys know what the possibilities are for starting a bookkeeping business yet, or if a lot of you guys are kind of pretty new to this process and interested in really learning from the beginning, from the ground up. So Carrie said been on a couple times. Awesome, awesome. Okay, Sandra's brand new. So what I'm going to kind of do, Christine's been on once, great. I'm going to just go over the tax season special first for those of you that have already seen this presentation, know a lot about starting a bookkeeping business, but just, haven't for whatever reason, pulled the trigger on it yet. So I want to go over the tax season special first so that you guys can, maybe make a decision on what you want to do. And then if you don't want to stick around for the whole webinar, you don't have to, but of course, you're always welcome. I know a lot of people sometimes like to hear this stuff 2 and 3 times just because it really helps them get a good, clear picture of how this would work for their family. But then if you're new and you've never really watched any of these webinars, or you don't really know much about a bookkeeping business or how that would work for your family, then I'm going to kind of walk you through what that looks like next and go from there. So first time in a webinar, Morgan. Awesome. And brand new to bookkeeping. Okay, I'm excited to give you lots of information. Macy's been on one before. And Beatty's not new to bookkeeping, but to our information. Okay, great. Awesome. I think you guys will find this really, really informative. There's a lot of information that we could go over. So I'm going to try to get through it all as quick as I can. If anybody does have to jump off, though, my husband's going to text everyone today and make sure you guys have access to the replay and everything like that. So if you do miss any of these parts, then you'll be able to get all the info. So let me just dive in really quick and show you guys what's going on with our tax season special so that you guys will be able to take advantage of that. Should you watch this and decide I'm ready to get this going. So let me share my screen here. This link here, and I'll drop it in the chat for you guys. But this link is where you can go if you want to watch some more of this. If you guys want to bookmark that for later today and to check it out. But this is our tax season special. We typically do this like once a year. And basically what the tax season special is that you're going to get access to our Bookkeeping Course Plus program. And that is an investment of $3,000, $29.97. But with this tax season special, we're going to gift you 2 free months in the academy. And so if you are totally new to us, I'll pull up my website really quick so you guys can see. Let's see if it's switched over. Yeah, okay. So if you look at our website, you can play around with that little chart, but down towards the bottom, it shows kind of the different options we have. And we basically have 3 paths for people to get started in their business. The first one is just our basic bookkeeping course. This is where a lot of our DIYers, since we started back in 2019, a lot of our DIYers started with this. Once they decided, okay, I don't really want to dabble, I actually really want to make this into a business, then they would pop into our Bookkeeper Academy. But we then since also created a mid-tier program that takes a lot of the additional trainings that we do in the academy and bundled it into the Bookkeeping Course Plus. Now, the Bookkeeping Course Plus is still a DIY course, and there is no support or help if you decide to go into that. So most of the time, our students want to be in our bookkeeping academy because that is where we have about 10 different full-time team members and part-time coaches and experts that can help you along every step of the way. And we have several coaches that, keep you accountable. They reach out to you daily and weekly throughout your entire journey in our program, and we help you actually learn how to do all of this stuff. And I'll go over a little bit more details on that. But for our tax season special, when you buy the Bookkeeping Course Plus for the $3,000, you're going to get access to our Bookkeeper Academy for free as like basically a trial run through tax season. So we're going to give you access all the way through April 30th. So a couple things to note is this special ends on Leap Day on February 29th, because we want you guys to leap into your bookkeeping business and get started during tax season. And once you get in, you're going to get free access to the academy until April 30th. So, for example, if you decide to enroll today, you're not only going to get 2 months free in the academy, but you're going to get an extra couple of weeks since it's only February 17th, which is really awesome. And then after that is over, after April 30th is over, you're going to have forever access to the Bookkeeping Course Plus. So you'll have 2 options. Come April 30th, you'll be able to, we're going to have some really awesome specials and incentives for you guys to also, anyone that takes advantage of the tax season special, to be able to renew and stay in the academy under a small payment plan. So we'll have that as an option. Or for those of you that, really think you'd prefer to just do it on your own, you're going to be able to, at that time, have had the academy help you kickstart your business and kind of, hammer through some of those initial questions that everyone seems to have. And then you can decide at that point if you want to take it on your own and try it by yourself for the next round. You're, able and welcome to do that. So on this page, on this tax season special page, we have a countdown at the top. That's how many more days left to enroll in the tax season special. Upon enrolling, you're going to get immediate access to the Bookkeeping Course Plus, and then we're going to onboard you into the academy. So, for example, if you get started today, you're going to have an extra 12 days than if you waited till the end of the month. So, kind of cool there. This is a little bit more informational video about it, but I'm basically telling you everything right now too. And then if you want, I interviewed one of our past DIY students, Kelly, and she was able to grow to 6 figures with the bookkeeping course alone. So I wanted to highlight that because I want to show you guys, if you have the course, but then you get this 2.5 free months in the academy to help kickstart that, how much, easier that it's going to be for you too, to get your business off the ground. And if Kelly can, hit 6 figures in her business just doing the course alone, then imagine what you can do if you also have help from all of our team for the next, what is it, 75 days if you start now. So this is all the information, investment questions. You can sign up here. It tells you everything that you get. And I'll go over everything that's included in the Academy as well. So it's really nice because if you're wanting to get into the Academy, this could also be a really nice, quick, easy stepping stone for you to get in. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. So if you guys, have any questions on this, please let me know. Type those in the chat and I will answer those. I think we got something in the Q&A. So someone asked, is there a way to upgrade from the cheaper DIY to the $29.97 program? So if you have purchased our bookkeeping course, which is the first one here on this site, the bookkeeping course here, if you've purchased that in the last 30 days, we will honor that as an upgrade. So we can go ahead and upgrade you and discount that. So if that is something that you have done, if you just purchased it when we did our bookkeeping course special, last month, or you purchased it here in the last 30 days, shoot me a message, a text, or an email, and we'll get you an invoice with that amount credited towards it. So then you would only pay, $24.97 or $19.97, depending on what you paid for the bookkeeping course. We do have she also asked, do you still create the website? So we do have a course in a lesson inside our bookkeeping course plus showing you how to create and set up your website using a program called ClickFunnels. So we do show you how to do that and you can walk through that. Although I would probably recommend that if you take advantage of the tax season special, that you put your website on the back burner, because the website is really not going to get you customers. It's really not going to help you reach your goals. It's something that it's nice to have, and eventually you'll want to have an online presence, but having a Facebook business page that takes about 5 seconds to set up is going to be just as effective as having a website. So, and we walk you through how to do all of that Facebook business page and all that kind of stuff in our bookkeeping course plus. But that would be my suggestion. I would hold off on your website until after your time has expired in the tax season special. And then of course, if you renew, you can decide at that point, do I want to create my website or just hold off? But that would be my suggestion. Great question there. We aren't offering website design services right now. That might be something that we roll back out in the next 6 months or so. But for now, we are not offering those services. And then Sweet Leads, great question. So someone asked if we can still do the Sweet Leads program. So if you guys sign up today for the tax season special, I will add you in to our Sweet Leads course update calls. So the enrollment for our Sweet Leads program right now is closed for the lead generation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. For those of you that are new to this, we have a new program that we rolled out in January where I'm actually doing the marketing for our students. Normally what I do is teach everyone how to do the marketing, because it's really important to know how to do marketing for your own business, because otherwise if you don't, you're kind of handcuffed to whoever has the knowledge of that, and then you're not able to grow your own business. Therefore, creating more financial freedom for your family, you won't be able to do that on your own. And then that kind of leaves you trapped, which, most of you are probably here because you want to either make more money, or you want to have flexibility, or you want to work less, but you really can't do any of that unless you are able to bring in, better paying clients or have a business that pays you more than your job, right? So I'm really passionate about teaching people how to do marketing, because if you know how to do that, you know how to find the next client when you need more money for your family, then you're always going to be in a really great position. You're never going to have to fight that, fixed income problem or not being able to afford things problem, because if you want something, you can go out and find clients and then make more money to be able to pay for those things. So I'm really passionate about teaching you guys marketing. However, I know that when you first start a business, there's a lot to learn. So what I have launched is a new program called Sweet Leads, where I actually do the marketing for our students. And we're working out all of the kinks in that program right now. And we have about 50 people in that program. And so far, since January 1st, we have got everything in place, started the marketing, starting to ramp it up. And we have, I believe, one of our students so far has a paying client that we gave to them. And we have about 5 more in the works that are matched with bookkeepers that they're working through the process to get their engagement letters signed. So it's going really, really well, but I'm probably not going to open that program up again until every single one of our students has received at least one lead or client from me. But what's cool about it, anybody that signs up for the tax season special today, I'll throw in as a bonus that you can have access to all of our recorded calls. So what we do twice a month, we have calls where my team and I put together a slideshow presentation, and I present it to all of the members in the Sweet Leads program, and they get to see firsthand exactly what we're doing in order to be able to produce 50 clients to them over the next 10 more months in the program. So you guys could have access to that too and learn exactly what we're doing. So you know how I do my marketing. I teach everyone how to do it, but then showing you exactly how I'm doing it to be able to find lots of clients really fast. So I'll throw in that for anybody that enrolls today, give you access to the Sweet Leads update calls so that you can see all of that too. Great question. I'm not sure who posted that, but it was great. A lot of great questions. Thank you so much, Melissa. This is one of my favorite shirts right now too. Let's see. Okay, so that is the tax season special. Again, that link, I dropped it in there. If you guys want to sign on for that, then you'll be able to get immediate access to the Bookkeeping Course Plus, and then you'll also be able to be onboarded into the Academy uh, probably by this evening if you are ready to rock and roll. So now that we kind of discussed the tax season special, I am going to turn on my slideshow so you guys can, for those that are new here too, can also get a little bit of understanding on what it's like to actually start a bookkeeping business. And, why would you even want to pay $3,000 to do the tax season special and start a bookkeeping business? What makes it worth that? How are you going to get your money back? What are you going to learn? All those kinds of things. So I'm going to go over all of that. Does that sound good to everybody? If you are ready to jump into the webinar, put a thumbs up in the chat. If you have questions on the tax season special, please type those in the chat now as well. And while you guys are doing that, I am going to share my screen here. All right, awesome. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. All right, we have a lot of great attendance on this webinar today. I'm really excited to connect with you guys. Okay, so diving into your exciting journey into becoming a business owner, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how a bookkeeping business can help you achieve all of your personal goals, especially when it comes to financial goals, location goals, but also time preferences for how much you want to work versus how much you want to spend time with your family. So I like to start this by showcasing to you guys that if you start a bookkeeping business, you can make $5,000 per month and working only 10 hours per week and you can get up to this within just a few short months. And of course, any variation of this, if you want to make more, you can work a tiny bit more. If you want to make less, you'll work a little bit less, but you can literally make $5,000 a month and only have to put in about 10 hours a week to do the bookkeeping work. And you can get up to this within just a handful of months. And this is possible even if you currently work full-time and have a busy schedule, even if you have kids at home, or if you're a stay-at-home parent or homeschooling, and even if you've never done bookkeeping before. So this is what we help people do. Pretty much no matter what your situation is, starting this bookkeeping business can be very, very flexible and can kind of just slot right into your current life. So yes, Isabel, let me drop that link in here again for you. Tax season special link right there. So if you guys are looking to accomplish something like this for your family, is that something that you're wanting to do? If so, type a yes in the chat. and I want to let you know you're in the right place. I'm going to show you all the details about how this works and why you can make this kind of money. All right, Antoinette says yes. So if you guys are totally new here, you haven't been on a webinar before, just welcome again. My name's Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA. I'm also a mom of 5, and I started my bookkeeping business specifically because I wanted to be home with my kids. But I founded the Bookkeeper Academy after I had started my bookkeeping business, experienced all the wonderful things that happened in my family since we started our at-home bookkeeping business back in 2015. I was able to work part-time from home, growing my business with a 6-month-old and 2 elementary school age children quickly and easily, and so much so that my husband was also able to quit his job within about 7 months of creating my LLC. I brought in enough money to cover all of our bills at the time, and he actually retired on Christmas Eve of 2015, which was a really awesome Christmas present for us. We really loved that. I grew my bookkeeping business steadily over a few years until I was making about $200,000 per year. The cool thing about this is that even though we were making $200,000 per year, I was still working less than a 40-hour work week. And my husband was basically a stay-at-home dad. So I was working a flexible schedule, and we really were able to double our income because between the two of us, my husband was making about 65, I was making about 40, 45,000. So we were barely making over $100,000 a year back in 2015 when I first started this. And when I grew my business up to this point, we were making 200,000 per year, but both of us were working less than we were on our full-time jobs. So it's pretty incredible that you can accomplish this with a bookkeeping business, and it's been very, very life-changing for a lot of our students. And then, of course, during this time, it also allowed me to continue to grow our family. So that last couple of years of my bookkeeping business, I also had twins, and I was nursing the twins exclusively. And I always like to point that out. Most of you guys on here may know if you're moms or if you've ever nursed, but nursing is hard as it is. But then when you have two, it's kind of like an around the clock, constant thing that you have to do. And I won't say that I wasn't stressed. It was definitely hard work to balance nursing twins and taking care of my other 3 kids and also running the business. But with my husband's help and the fact that he got to be home during all of this, it did allow me to do all of those things that I wanted to do. And even during this time, we decided to homeschool our older 3 kids. We also decided to upgrade our house and move to a different city and all of that stuff. And we were able to continue to handle all of those responsibilities and at the same time organically grow our business, which was really, really cool. And then from there, I decided to sell my bookkeeping business. And then that's when I went into starting the Bookkeeper Academy. So, selling your business is another really cool perk that you have when you start your business. And as you can see, I didn't have to have it for like 10 or 20 years to be able to sell it. So, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how you guys can sell your businesses and understand what that process looks like too. So, it can be pretty cool as well. So I want to know, for those of you that are here, I would love for you to type a yes in the chat if you would love to work from home, have reduced hours, but have more money coming in, and then always still be available for your family anytime they need you. So this is what a bookkeeping business can do for you. I would love for you to type a yes in the chat if that is something that you are looking to accomplish for your family. Maybe your job doesn't allow you to do some of these things right now, but I would want to tell you guys that is growing a business hard work at times? Absolutely. Do you have to make sacrifices at times? Absolutely. But this business can 100% help you accomplish all of these goals. When I was pregnant with the twins, I decided I didn't want to do any more work, marketing work or administrative work. I just wanted to help my clients that I currently had do the basic bookkeeping, and that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to try to grow my business or anything like that. And I was able to really drastically reduce all the time that I had to spend on anything. And I spent a ton of time just taking care of myself, hanging out with the family, trying to get through a twin pregnancy. Because when you're 5'1", it's really difficult to have a giant belly. So it was really, really great. And so I had not only the flexibility to work from home, but I hardly had to work at all. And we had more money coming in than we did when both of us were working full time outside of the family, and we were always there for our kids anytime we needed to. The other cool thing that I really loved about that whole time period of my life was that when you have twins, you're considered a high risk pregnancy. And so I had to go to the doctor a ton. And it was so great because I could just schedule my appointments in the middle of the day and not have to worry about it. I didn't have to ask permission or worry about taking time off and docking my pay or upsetting my boss or having to make up that time later. I just got to go. I just went, and you know what? There was never traffic, there was never lines because everybody else is at work. And so it was really, really, really awesome. And Morgan would like to take care of your mother-in-law. Yes. Awesome. Yes, this would be a really great opportunity for you in lots of areas. So, for you guys that don't know much about the Bookkeeper Academy, it's our mission. Like, this is our mission statement. We are here literally to empower you to become financially independent without sacrificing connectivity with your family by offering the education framework to launch your own bookkeeping business from home. So, this is what we stand for. This is why we're here. And this is what we want to do to help you guys. And our motto is have your cake and eat it too. We believe you shouldn't have to choose between, being the parent you want to be for your kids, or, if you want to help take care of your parents or your mother-in-law or whatever it is, the case there. We want you to be able to do that and not have to choose, but also still be able to provide for them financially. We don't choose anymore. We get to have both, and we want you guys to have both. And on this call, I'm going to show you how you can have your cake and eat it too. So this means reaching financial freedom for your family, but also being able to spend time with them on your terms, which is really awesome. So I know some of you have already said this, but I'm curious, since we have a bunch more people that have joined in, if you have been on a webinar with me in the recent past, maybe over the last like 2 to 3 months, type a 1 in the chat. And then if your first time here, you haven't been on a webinar, type a 2 in the chat. I'd love to see kind of what we've got going on. Um, I'm a single mom with special needs kids. I've changed my whole life for them, and we have services right after school. Yeah, absolutely. That can be a lot to juggle. And if you are able to, have more flexibility with your day and your schedule, it would be a lot less overwhelming to rush from work to school to services to back. Okay, it looks like we have a really good mix of people. So this is exciting. Um, so great to have you guys back. If you are returning, welcome, welcome. If you've got questions, I would love to know, what your plans are if you are returning and you're, thinking about doing this again, what your plans are and what your questions are. And then, of course, for everybody that's new, welcome to our webinar. We're going to go over lots of info. And of course, I will send you guys all the recording after this as well, which is awesome. So, let's see. I want to just dive in. One thing that's really, really cool about our program is that when you join and when you start your bookkeeping business, specifically if you take advantage of this tax season special and you get that free support in the academy, you're going to be able to start making money right away. Normally, our Bookkeeper Academy program is 12 months long for the first year. We have a lot of people that renew and stay in for 2, 3, 4 years. I think right now, our oldest student that's been in our program is from December of 2020. We still have students from all the way back then. So over 3 years, they've been in our program consistently and love the support. But what's really cool is that you don't have to go through the whole 12 months before you start making money like you do with college, right? At college, you would go through all these accounting classes, you'd have a degree, and then you'd graduate. And then, after like 2 to 4 years, and then you'd have to go get a job. And then, fingers crossed, you're making decent money, which most of the time is not the case. But with our Bookkeeper Academy, you can actually start making money right away because we teach you the basics. You're going to learn all of the basics within just a few weeks. And then we'll go ahead and teach you how to start looking for clients. Then the great thing about our academy is that as you get clients, as you get people that are like, I'm interested in bookkeeping, tell me more, we help you learn what to do from there. And then once they start paying you, we help you do the bookkeeping until you understand how to do it. So what's really great is it's almost like getting a paid internship. You get paid hands-on experience. But even though you're new at this something or at doing bookkeeping, we help you become an expert and appear as an expert to your new client right from day one. So then our goal is to help you do such a great job for these first few clients that these clients start sending you referrals, and then you don't even have to do marketing. You just get clients handed to you, which is really cool. But it's really nice that you're able to start making money right away. You don't have to go through the whole academy to be able to start making money. So that's why I'm excited about the tax season special, because if you get in there, you get started. Tax season is a wonderful time to start because business owners cannot get their taxes done unless their bookkeeping is done. So they have to find a bookkeeper first in order to get their taxes done. So everybody's wanting to get their taxes done because they want to know, am I going to get a refund? Am I going to pay? If I'm going to pay, how much am I going to owe? The taxes are due by April 15th. So they're scrambling to get their books in order so they can get their tax return done. So this is a great time for you guys to start because there are clients everywhere. And another really cool method that we're going to teach you guys in the Bookkeeper Academy that's not included in the Bookkeeping Course Plus is our email marketing workshop. And in our email marketing workshop, we actually teach you how to find anywhere from like 2 to 5 different tax expert partnerships. And these are tax firms that don't do bookkeeping or are overloaded with bookkeeping. And in tax season, they get really, really busy and they need help. And so what they end up doing is partnering with bookkeepers. And when they get a new client that needs their tax return done, but their bookkeeping isn't done yet, they send the bookkeeping to you. You do the bookkeeping, make a bunch of money, give it to the tax person, and the tax person does the tax return and then charges the business owner separately for the tax return. So this is why the tax season special is so awesome, because we're going to show you how to create those partnerships by going through our email marketing workshop first thing when you get into our academy under this special, so you can start developing those partnerships. And this works really, really well. And if you can get a few of those going, then you're going to get clients handed to you consistently throughout the year without really having to do a lot of marketing at all, which is awesome. The other thing you're going to get to in the academy is access to our social media marketing workshop, which we actually have templates. Every single day of the year, we have a different template that you can customize with your own favorite colors and your own business name and your logo, and you can put that on social media. We show you how to customize them all and then schedule every single post out over social media so that you have something scheduled for 365 days of the year. So even if you get into the academy, we can help you do that. And all next year, all this year, and all the way until this time in 2025, you won't even have to think about marketing when it comes to your social media profile because it'll be completely done already. So those are the two really cool perks that you're going to get in the academy. Most people have to make a 12-month commitment to be in the academy to be able to access those things, but we're going to give that to you as part of the tax season special. So it's a really, really cool benefit there. Someone asked, do you recommend getting or having a degree in accounting? And this is 1,000% no. And I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of reasons why. I'll stop sharing real quick so we can kind of talk better. But currently, my 19-year-old is taking classes to get his accounting certificate at a community college. He wasn't really ready to be a business owner, but he doesn't want to go get just a cheap job where he's making minimum wage. So I'm always an advocate of learning. So if you feel like you just want to learn, sure, go get an accounting degree. But if you're wanting to change your family's financial situation, not only is that going to make it worse because you're probably going to go into debt for an accounting degree, but it's going to push you back years, most likely. And then when you're done, you're going to be in the same situation at the end of that as you are right now, because an accounting degree, while it will teach you the basics of accounting knowledge, we can teach you that in the Bookkeeper Academy in about 2 weeks. But what you're going to learn in an accounting degree is a ton of information that does not apply to bookkeeping or small businesses. When you go to school for accounting, you're going to be learning how to be a large corporate accountant for huge companies like McDonald's or Coca-Cola or Sony or, these giant corporations. They teach you how to run accounting as if you are a staff accountant in one of those companies. And so a lot of what they teach has nothing to do with what you will actually do as a bookkeeper. And I can say this with extreme confidence because not only do I have an accounting degree, but I also have a CPA license. And all of that, none of that prepared me to work at the CPA firm that I was working at prior to starting my business. And it also did not prepare me to start my own bookkeeping business either. The basic general knowledge that you need to be successful with this is stuff that you will learn in the Bookkeeper Academy and in our Bookkeeping Course Plus in about the first 2 weeks of the program. So it's not rocket science. It's pretty easy stuff to learn, and there's really no reason to go back to school for, even 18 months or 2 years or 4 years to get a degree in this. I've also, talked quite a few people out of going for their CPA because while I'm proud that I have that title, it was a lot of work and it took me away from my family many, many hours. Like the CPA license, not only did I have to spend 18 months studying for that and passing all of the exams, but prior to that, I had to go back to school and get an extra like 30 credit hours just to be eligible to sit for it. And then I had to work under somebody making pennies on the dollar for an entire year just for them to sign off and allow me to be a CPA. It's not worth it. You can make way more money just starting your bookkeeping business than doing all of that. Now, of course, if you have other reasons that you would want to do those things, then so be it. But if your sole purpose is to see if you can make more money for your family, try to have financial freedom, but also have a flexible schedule and maybe even work less, going back to school or working on your CPA or any of those things, that is not going to take you to that path. It is going to stretch out the time to reaching your goal. And I can say this because I did all those things. That was my experience. And I wish that I would have had a program like this that I would have known about. Because I'll tell you guys something. When I started my bookkeeping business in 2015, even though I had all that experience and education, and I had worked in the CPA firm for like 5 years prior to starting it, I had to learn a lot when I started. I didn't know anything about marketing, didn't know anything about quoting or pricing. I didn't know anything about structuring my workflow. I didn't know anything about, communicating with clients, all of that stuff I had to learn on the fly. But the other interesting thing is when my older two kids were little, before I had my third one and kind of started over, when my older two kids were little back in like 2008, 2007, 2008, I tried to start a bookkeeping business back then too. And I, at that point in time, didn't have any experience. I did already have my accounting degree, but I had no experience at all. but there was no coach or no one to help me or no information on what that was like. So I got like one client, it was kind of a disaster, and then I gave up and didn't do it again, and I just ended up going back to school and then getting a job, and that's what people do, and they think that that's the only option when it was for me at the time. But if I would have had a program like this back then, I'll tell you my life would be totally different. It would have been totally different. And it would have been nice. It would have been really nice to have had this years ago, because I didn't choose to work instead of spending time with my kids, the older two. So I had to make a sacrifice, right? What was my sacrifice? I was dead broke for most of their childhood. And then when they got into grade schools, when I started working and, barely still made enough money to pay all the bills. So when I started over and had my third child, I knew I can't do this again. I can't quit because I can't be dead broke, but I can't work and miss out on her life. So that's really what this is all about. Great question though about the accounting degree. Lots of people think that you need an accounting degree or something to do this, and you just really don't. So great question. Okay, so let's see. I want to talk about, let's skip to some good stuff. We're going to go right into, actually, I'd like to read you this awesome excerpt from one of our students. So this one's kind of cool because this one shows you guys a little bit about what you can expect to accomplish if you stay consistent with growing your business. And I just, I've shown you guys a little bit of what you can accomplish with your business, but this is one of our students. Her name was Jara. I want to read this post. She posted this in August 18th. I believe of 2021 is when she posted this. And she was one of our original students, started back in 2019. So she had had a business for about 2 years, I believe, at the time that she posted this. So let me read this to you. I want to know what you guys think about this. So please, comment in the chat if you find this to be inspirational or, exciting, right? So she says, hello, everybody. I wanted to share an amazing win of mine, and I hope it lifts and encourages you to know that you can do it too. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool my 4 kids. She said, my husband graduated chiropractic school with around $175,000 of debt. That's how much it cost him. And we were just squeezing by to pay all expenses on top of the ever-crushing school loan. I had worked full-time up until I had my kids, and though I enjoy being a mother, I always wanted to get back into the work field, even just for a day or two. I tried looking for part-time jobs, $9 an hour or less. I didn't get a higher education, so making more was out of the question without going back to school. She said, I researched and followed several groups, school programs, and even tried to get into marketing, which ironically, she says, I was awful at. And someone had mentioned Tiffany's group, and though I didn't have bookkeeping experience, I really enjoyed finances and problem solving. Of course, with things being tight, I worried that we would spend the money and I wouldn't see a return. I contemplated for a couple days and my husband encouraged me to just go for it. One of the best decisions we have made. I joined summer of 2019 and opened in October of 2019. It took me 3 months to land my first client. It has had its ups and downs, but I'm so glad I decided to take that chance. Fast forward to now, I have 25 monthly clients as well as contract work for a CPA. I have 3 part-time employees and I put in roughly 20 to 40 hours per week. I do this all from home. I still homeschool my kids, take vacation days, and schedule things on my time. I put in a lot of evening hours so I can spend the day with my kids. Are you ready for the big news? She said, we paid off our loans, a 30-year loan in less than 5 years, and the majority was paid in 2020 and 2021. We are now saving up for a down payment to build our dream home, which I will certainly share pics once it comes together. I make more per hour than my husband, and he took 8 years of school. And I took Tiffany's program for a small fee. Can you believe that, guys? She literally makes more per hour than her husband, and he had $175,000 invested into going to school. She said, I'm also not capped at what I can earn. I'm not limited to how many hours I can work. I can contract out, hire more employees, and continue to grow as big as I want. The sky's the limit. I'm just so happy I stumbled upon this group. Thank you to Tiffany for making it possible for this mom to dream big. So, what do you guys think about that? I mean, does that sound really exciting to you? Obviously, it's not a get rich quick scheme. Over the years, Jera put in some, decent work to get this off the ground, and she stayed consistent with it. And it took several years to get up to this point, but she was able to utilize all of her bookkeeping business money to pay off a pretty sizable loan for her family. And she did it all while still homeschooling her 4 kids and her husband working outside of the house. I would have to say that Jera probably handles things even better than me, because the second that I started my business, my goal was to get my husband to quit his job so he could help me at home and help me with the business, because I didn't want to work that hard where I was taking care of the kids all day and then doing my business at night. So that was my goal. And my husband came home and worked with me and helped me, and we kind of tag teamed it. So, but it is pretty cool what you can do with this. And Jara did not have any bookkeeping experience. She didn't have any background in bookkeeping. She even said she was terrible at marketing when she first started. What we teach you to do to find clients is very easy for anybody to learn. You don't have to be a marketing guru or even good at sales to be able to have this kind of an outcome for yourself, which is really awesome. So, something that I was able to do too, to celebrate my 1 year anniversary in my bookkeeping business in June of 2016, I bought a brand new van. I got approved for this van when our bookkeeping business was our sole source of income. And we had only filed one tax return so far showing our bookkeeping business income. And they still approved us for this car loan. And it was about a $45,000 van. We also completely paid it off within about 6 months of purchasing it, and solely with our bookkeeping business income as our only means of income into our family. Also, I took a 16-day vacation across the country right after we bought that van. One thing I had always done is watch my boss enjoy the flexibility of being a business owner while me and all the rest of the employees were working. He was out taking trips and taking vacations and traveling while he was working. And I was so jealous of that. So I was looking forward to doing that myself. So to celebrate that 1 year anniversary and purchasing our new van, we took that van and we went on a 16-day family vacation. And I took my laptop with me. But the great thing about bookkeeping is that it's not something that has to be done every day or even every week for that matter. Most of your deadlines are going to be monthly, which means you have a lot of flexibility on how you want to work, even over a month's time span. So while we were gone for 16 days, I just did time sensitive things, bare minimum work, and I just checked my email once or twice a day to make sure if my clients had an emergency or something that I could help them with something. But I waited till I got back to get caught up on my bookkeeping, and it worked out great. So we went to Estes Park, Colorado, Mission Beach, California, and then stopped at the Grand Canyon before coming home. And it was a really, really great time. Like I mentioned, we also upgraded our house in 2018. We bought a new house. This house was $412,000. I was completely and utterly shocked when we applied for the loan and got approved for a house like that, literally living off of our bookkeeping business income only. And of course, we were able to easily afford it. I was surprised that we were able to get a loan for it, but we were able to easily afford it. And we were able to upgrade our house. It had a pool and a pickleball court in the back, and it was a really, really nice house. So I'm curious, what do you guys want to accomplish? If you started your own bookkeeping business, what are some of the goals that you want to accomplish? How much do you want to make per month? How much do you want to work per month? What are some big ticket items, bucket list items that you are looking to accomplish? I would love for you guys to, put those in the chat. Let me know what are some of the things that, drew you to this. Why do you want to start a bookkeeping business, and what is your goal for it? Teresa wants to pay off current debt. I love it. I've been thinking about starting up a new group called Debt Free Bookkeepers to literally like help everyone utilize their bookkeeping profit from their business to paying off debt and living a debt-free lifestyle. That is really cool. Paulette wants to do financial freedom. What does that mean to you, Paulette? What exactly does that mean to you? Carrie would like to pay off debt, house, and then buy a new vehicle. Awesome. Flexibility, yes. Pay off credit cards, student loans, have money for repairs on the houses. Yes, for sure. Brenda wants to make 6,000 a month, pay off debt, be free to purchase what I want when I want. Yes, that's a really, really great feeling to be able to just be like, I think I want that, and hop on Amazon and just buy it, and then not have to have remorse or guilt or, return it later. Just buy it, and not have to worry, for sure. It's a great feeling. That's a freedom. That feels like freedom. Danira says, want to have more time being attentive to my children than working a job that requires me to be on a set schedule where we miss out on the majority of the day. Yes, totally. I totally understand that. Even when kids are in school, like Wednesday, okay, my daughter is going to be performing at, their recorder concert where they play the recorders, right? And they are only taking a few parent chaperones, and I applied to be one, and I got approved to go be a chaperone at her field trip. And I can easily do that stuff, and it makes no difference to anybody because I can go do that. I don't have to ask off for work. I remember when I was working my full-time job at the CPA firm, and my older two kids were in grade school, and this was before my third child was born. So I didn't even have that like do or die. I got to figure out what to do. I was just dealing with the icky situation of feeling trapped at my job, but it was tax season and it started snowing like crazy here in Missouri. And I already knew that I was going to be like scrambling during spring break because spring break was like in late March, and that's like the height of busy tax season. And when you work at a CPA firm, you cannot take time off during tax season. But I already needed that week off because the kids were on spring break and I didn't have anyone to watch them. And but then it got even worse because then we had a bunch of snow days. And then after all the snow days, my kids got sick. And I had to call in so much. And I was just like in tears and I was stressed. And my boss was mad at me. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to make up this time. And I couldn't afford to not be paid. And it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So even when your kids are in school, it's like you still need that freedom, right? To be able to like, be there for them if they get sick or if they have spring break or they want to go on a field trip, or they have a day off. President's Day is coming up. How many of you guys, maybe some of you guys have it off, but how many have to work? And then what do you do with your kids? Paying off debt, contributing to our farm, goats and pigs. That's fun. So my husband can be at home too and be able to farm for his income. Yes, that's a cool thing. I'm glad you mentioned that, Morgan. So for me, it was my goal to retire my husband. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted him to be home. We're the type of couple that we like to spend a lot of time together. Our love language is quality time. And so we want to spend time together a lot. So we like it. It works well for us to be home all the time. But other people in our academy, they've retired their husbands so that their husbands could then go, follow their dreams, start their dream business, or go after their dream job that maybe doesn't pay as well, or whatever that they want to do. So that's been something really, really cool. We've got a lot of stay-at-home dads now in the group, and a lot of dads that have started up their own businesses and been inspired to do that, watching their wives like make epic changes for their family. Danira wants to make more than 10,000 a month, build a savings account for each of the children, pay off debt, buy a house, work 40 hours a month, not a week. Yes, I love that. I love that. And I heard from this one student, her name's Ashley, and was checking in with her. She was in our academy about a year or so ago, and I was checking in with her the other day, and she said, I didn't grow my business as big as other people, but I'm super happy with it right now because I've been consistently making $4,000 to $5,000 a month, but I am always there for my kids. I never have to work in the evenings when they get off of school. And she's like, I can get everything done just in the short amount of time that they're at school, and it's great. And I'm like, oh, that's what it's all about, everybody can have their own goals and work towards it. Then we have some people like Jen Beckwith. I interview her on my podcast. All of her kids are upper teens and starting to get into their 20s, and she's rearing and ready to go to create this huge business. She's got, oh God, well over 30 some clients. She's only been in our program for about a year and a half, about a year and a half, and she has made huge strides. I think the last post that I saw was specifically once she joined our restaurant mastermind program, she's already added like over $50,000 of reoccurring revenue in new restaurant clients, and that was after she added a bunch of regular businesses too. So just you can grow it really big if you want. You can keep it small. We have another girl named Melissa in our academy who I also interviewed on my podcast. She's the one that's been in since December of 2020. And her son is like about to turn 5, and next year will be going to kindergarten. So she has purposely kept her business between $3,000 and $5,000 a month that entire time that he's been in school. And once he goes to school, she'll be starting to ramp it up as well. So it's great because no matter where you guys are at right now, you can set the stage and then scale the business later too if you want. Yep. Want to be able to take care of your mother-in-law, homeschool kids. Yes, absolutely. Lakia works at a CPA firm right now. Can't take off. It sucks. I know. And the great thing about bookkeeping is that there really isn't a tax season like it is in a CPA firm. Yes, your opportunity to get more clients can happen during tax season, and it's exciting, but it can happen like that all year long too. But you still have the flexibility, which is awesome. And you can take on as many or as few clients as you want. Homeschooling your babies and create other businesses from this. Yeah, absolutely. I have had quite a few students add on spin-off businesses from this. I specifically have a student who occasionally does logo and website designs for our students, but she also does them for her clients. She has a bunch of bookkeeping clients and then cross sells them into web design. So really awesome. Yes, and Macy says, no kids, but would like to set the foundation for when I do. And man, that's such a great idea because if you already have this going, you have this in place, then when you have kids, you're not ever going to have to feel that pull, that hard choice that we always have to make between, well, what do we do now? Because it is really one of those things where a lot of times you don't understand what that choice is going to feel like until you actually have that baby. I didn't even realize it with my first kid until after he was born. Even when I was pregnant, I thought, oh, yeah, I'm going to be this career woman, climb up the corporate ladder of this accounting degree and have these awesome kids. And then I didn't even realize until after he was born, what am I doing? There is no way I can leave this kid with a stranger. No way. And so then it was like my whole life was upside down because I didn't know what I was going to do. I had to work. I knew I had to work. I had career goals, but I couldn't leave him. So it would be so awesome for you to be able to set that stage and that foundation, right away. So I'll drop the link in here too. The tax season special, if you guys want to do that, it is the $29.97 for the bookkeeping course plus. So I'm going to put that link in here. If anybody enrolls in that, checks out, purchases that, you're going to get immediate access to it. We'll get you into the academy by the end of the day, and I'll throw in the Sweet Leads update calls. So there's the link to that if anybody is kind of ready to go, wants to go ahead and move forward with that. But real quick, I'd love to dive in and talk about this roadmap to achieving your goals. So, I've showed you guys all the benefits. I've been talking about all of the, physical and emotional and financial benefits of a bookkeeping business. But I also want to show you like the actual science behind it, the math behind it, because, some of you don't know me. Some of you guys know me pretty well, but some of you guys don't know me and you're just taking my word for it that all these things worked out great for me. But I want to show you exactly what it looks like and how you can like basically back into this with the true numbers, with the math and the science behind having a business. So, Leanna, there isn't a payment plan per se for the tax season special, but if you need to break it out between a few cards or you need to make payments over the next 12 days during the session, let me know. And I can send you an invoice and you can just make payments on that up until February 29th. As long as it's paid in full by then you'll qualify for the tax season special. Um, but if you guys are interested in just doing the full on account academy, we do allow a payment plan for that. So instead of paying the $3,000 to get into the tax season special, you can go ahead and make a down payment of $640, and then that'll lock you into a payment plan for our 12-month academy. So if anybody's interested in that, I can share details with that too, and then we can show you how to get going with that. So Danira says, "Ooh, that's way out of my budget as a single mom. I'm proud of you for making that your price." Well, one thing to really consider is, what would you do otherwise? If that is out of your budget, I totally understand. There's a time in my life where I was also on food stamps and trying to figure out how to make things work. But if you invest in yourself and you figure out a way to make this work and get this business started, you really won't ever have to say those things that's out of my budget. The kind of things that I say that for now is like, that's out of my budget is like crazy things, you know, like crazy things. I mean, I've considered, my husband does not want me to do this, but I've considered buying another house, which we just sold our house in Texas. And because we don't really like to have the responsibility of a big giant house, but when you have 5 kids, you own a big house, and there's this house up the street that's like $1.3 million, and I'm literally considering buying it. But I feel like, it might be out of my, not maybe not out of my budget, but out of the goals that I want to achieve. But I don't want you guys to say these things are out of your budget. I mean, $3,000 is not very much money. And if you're in a situation where that seems like a lot of money to you, then we need to get you in here so we can change your situation, which will then change your perspective on money and on your finances and on your situation as a whole. I'm interested in details for the Academy down payment. Okay, let me show. So basically what it is, I'll show you guys that really quick. Let me go back. I have a great slide on that. Um, okay, so monthly payment, if you guys decide to do the full 12-month Bookkeeper Academy, is $640 per month. And it really is $640 to get started. This goes through our lender. We have a lender that approves everybody for the financing option. So even if you have bad credit, even if you're not employed, even if you have a tight budget and you might not be able to pay that, for the full term, everybody's still approved because you guys can make money so quickly in our academy. And I'll show you here really quickly on one of these slides of how fast you can get up to covering that $640 payment to where it's coming out of your business and it's not coming out of your personal, finances. But basically it's $640. And it's over a 24-month payment plan, though. So it puts you at paying a little bit more, about $15,000. However, as you grow your business, if you're able to pay it off early, which most people are, and you pay it off in 12 months, they waive the interest. So it's still just the $12,000 for the academy. But if you want to get started, it's really only $640 to get started. It is the commitment for the full 12,000 and the full 12 months in the academy, but you can get started very small. So if you let me know if you guys are interested in that, I can drop the funding link in here and you can apply for that. Unfortunately, they don't offer loans for the 3,000. It's too small of an amount. So for a tax season special, it would be, have to be over credit card or ACH or something. Is the bookkeeping course plus and different from the tax season link? So the tax season link is the page, let's see. Whoops, which one is it? Let me stop sharing. The tax season link page. I have too many screens up. Let me grab this one. So when you go to this tax season special link, and then you scroll down a little bit, then it'll show you, it'll say like, I'm ready to enroll. And then that enrollment link will be the Bookkeeping Course Plus link. So anyone that we see that enrolls in the Bookkeeping Course Plus link today is going to get forever access to the Bookkeeping Course Plus. They're also going to get onboarded into the Academy through April 30th. And if you sign up today, you're going to get access to our Sweet Leads marketing update calls. So you can see exactly how I'm going to get 50 new clients for our students in the next 12 months or less. Well, 10 more months. So, and then of course, anybody that purchases the Bookkeeping Course Plus after today, but all the way through February 29th, is going to get forever access to the Bookkeeping Course Plus and then access to our Academy through April 30th. So that's the difference there. So sometimes, you know, for people that are struggling with money, we've had a lot of students that have been able to ask friends or family to help invest in their future so you can get off the ground. You know, I had to do that. I had to have my aunt buy us diapers for a while, you know, when we were younger. So no shame in asking for help and figuring out how you can make this work. I will say though, having a business, you have to be resilient. You got to figure things out. Nothing is going to be handed to you. It's going to be your own business and you're going to be providing a service. So learning how to make things work, how to be a problem solver, figure it out. I mean, that's the first step. So if your hurdle is coming up with, you know, the down payment or the monthly payment, great first practice for you as becoming a business owner is being resilient and figuring out, how am I going to make this money? How am I going to get in here and get this done? Because that's going to be your biggest hurdle to start with, right? And then once you pass that, everything else is going to be a little bit more smooth sailing from there. If you literally, like I said, have no income and just trying to make ends meet, you know, you're gonna have to figure out who can help you, who can help you get out of this situation temporarily. You know, our lender is willing to approve everyone, even if you have bad credit, but you got to figure out how to come up with that payment for a few months until you start getting, you know, bookkeeping income coming in. Which when you start a business, you know, a lot of people that start businesses, they don't make money their first couple of years. You know, they may not make a profit. But when you have a bookkeeping business, you're going to be profitable from the first and second client that you get. So it's all dependent on how much work and effort you put in. If you get in the academy and you hit the ground running, you could easily have a client within the first couple of weeks. We've seen it many, many times over. In fact, I'll share my screen and show you a screenshot of one of our students that came in just a few months ago. Let's see. Here it is. So it's really up to, you know, to you and to your resilience and your hard work and effort. So Crystal, she was on one of these webinars on Saturday. She applied for funding. She got immediately approved. She set up the call with the lender, made her down payment. And by Monday, she was in the academy. And then she said, I started the academy yesterday, got invited to a local young professional mingle. Just got my first prospect. She wants to start with a cleanup job and then go from there. So she literally got her first client on day 2. She didn't know how to do bookkeeping, but she was willing to put herself out there and then utilize a safety net of the academy to help her with this client once the client said yes. So, you know, you can make money really fast. If you literally have no income coming in, all you got to do is figure out, how will I be able to get this $640 as a down payment and potentially have, you know, a backup plan for the second month payment, and then get in there and just work your tail off until you get a client. Because a lot of times, like cleanup jobs, I'll show you guys here pretty soon, but cleanup jobs, you can make a lot of money on those. I'm going to kind of skip around just so you guys can see, but when you get a new client, 9 times out of 10, they're behind in their bookkeeping. And this is why they're looking for a bookkeeper, because they haven't done their bookkeeping, sometimes for months, most of the time for years. And so they need you to come in and not only do their ongoing work, where you can charge them a monthly fee, but they also need you to charge them for all the months prior that they haven't done. And we call this back work or cleanup work. And 9 times out of 10, a new client will need this. So in addition to making ongoing money from your client, you get what I call a Christmas bonus every time you get a new client. So then, those things will help you start to stockpile money in your business account that you can pay for that monthly payment into the academy, but then also be able to start moving money over into your personal account really, really quickly. So I want to show you some examples of that. So Teresa, I think I answered your question. Once you sign up, how fast can you start making money? Very fast. Sharon, who is actually one of our coaches now, when she started our academy 3 years ago, I remember seeing her post, "Oh my God, I just started today and I got my first client already." She came in, she started working on the process, put some feelers out, and had her first client immediately. It doesn't happen like that with everybody, but if you come in and you get going, you will get clients pretty quickly. So, for those of you that are totally struggling, I just want to point out too, I don't know what everyone's situation is when you are, super struggling with money. If you just, don't have a great job or you have a lot of bills or what it is, I don't know. Personally, I think if I had the opportunity to do something like that, I may push off some of my other bills to be able to do something like this temporarily to get myself ahead and then go back and make up those payments later. Or another option would be my son right now, my 19-year-old, he has figured out when the best time is to go DoorDash and make decent money. He makes anywhere from $28 to $40 an hour right now DoorDashing. Now, he can't usually pull in an 8-hour shift and make that kind of money, but little bursts and or spurts and bits during the evening and different parts of the day, he's done that. I mean, over the last couple months, he's saved up over $3,000 door dashing. So, there's a way. There's a way for you to get enough money to scrape by to get into the academy so we can help you blow up your finances and really create something that is awesome for you guys. Because as a bookkeeper, you're going to make $100 an hour doing bookkeeping. And I'll show you that slide in a minute. But real quick, I want to dive in and show you guys some examples of cleanup jobs. This one is Kim. She joined in 2022, and it took her about 6 weeks, I think, after starting the academy to get her first client. And this first client was a little bit of a bigger business, but they were behind in their bookkeeping, and we helped her quote the client. She proposed a $9,000 cleanup job to them, and they said yes and proceed. So it was $21.97 per month is what she charged this client. $9,000 cleanup job. She made $11,000 in month 2 of being in her bookkeeping, being in the academy. So like, I mean, if you look at that, if you look at that, 11,197 divided by 640, I mean, that's 17 payments. You don't even have to worry about making the payment for 17 months. You know what I'm saying? So all you have to do is figure out this first couple payments, get in and work hard, and you're going to make tons of money that you won't have to worry about that anymore. So all that extra, she could do whatever she want with, pay off debt, put it in her savings account. I mean, this allowed her to quit her part-time job so she could stay home with her son, who was a preemie, and she needed to be home. And then Alicia is another example of a student. Alicia has done so well in our academy. We just promoted her to one of our mentors as well. She's had fantastic success. Alicia got her first client a little before the end of her first month, and she charged $1,500 for monthly bookkeeping services, but they were behind also, so she charged $6,000 for cleanup. And for those of you guys that think this is a lot of money, this is another thing we help with in the academy too. How do you know what to charge? And is this a fair price? And that seems like a lot of money to me. How the heck am I supposed to ask somebody for it? So I'm asking you guys for anywhere from $3,000 to $12,000 to join our program, right? We're going to show you how to ask your business owners for this kind of money because it's worth it. It's valuable, and we're going to show you how to explain the value so business owners are more than willing to pay you. Alicia didn't have to bang down his door and threaten him to pay this money. She presented it to him and he saw the value and he said yes. And it's as simple as that. So you guys will be able to make this kind of money too. And this is a science. Our quoting is artistic science, and we show you how to do it. So you're not just like pulling numbers out of a hat and guessing. Okay, so Alicia, she made $7,500 at the end of her first month. Take 7,500 divided by the 640. She has almost an entire year's worth of payments that, that she can do off of just this one client. That means every other client she gets is straight profit, straight profit. Now, Jen is the one I was talking to you about a little bit ago, who she's had an amazing success. Uh, she got a crazy huge cleanup job. This one was $32,000. I've never even gotten one that big myself. That was fantastic. We helped her with that whole cleanup job. Took her about 4 months to do it, working on little chunks here and there. And she broke it out over 4 months payment. But technically, in her month 4 of being in our program, she made like well over $34,000, guys. I mean, it's just insane. She could have easily paid off the loan to the funding specialist and everything. And while we're talking about this, I'm going to drop that link in here for the funding. And they don't like it unless people apply that are ready to go, because they will expect the down payment. But if that's something that you want to do instead of the tax season special, you're welcome to apply for funding. Just make sure you have that $640 available before applying and clicking on that link. It only takes about 5 minutes to submit your information, which is really cool. But you can watch Jen's podcast interview on our YouTube channel. We are also, she is available on our team now too, to be able to ask questions. Hey, you followed Tiffany's process and you replicated it. How did you do that? And she's there to help guide you guys along on that as well, which is really, really cool. The other thing about Jen is the first 2 months that she was in the academy, she focused on her mindset. She was lacking confidence and wasn't sure if she could do it. And so she didn't really even start marketing until about 2 months in, because she was focusing on, like, how can I make this work? Was this the right decision for my family? I'm scared. I don't know how to do marketing. I don't know how to talk to people. And so we worked on all of that. And then, she just like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to make myself do it. So then she jumped out and did that. Now her cleanup fee, that 32,000, for full disclosure, huge amount. We don't see those very often. On average, it's anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 is what we see. We had 2 different people in December get $10,000 cleanup jobs. One of them was our mindset coach, Robin, who you guys will get to work with. And the other one was a brand new student named Christina, who got a $10,800 cleanup job. And the cool thing about Christina is she came in on our back to school special, which is very similar to this tax season special. And she only had a limited amount of time in the academy too. Of course, she decided to stay because she loves it. And obviously she made a ton of money, so she wanted to. But that's what's cool about the tax season special. You guys don't have to be tied into a commitment there. So here's just like a recap of these ladies you guys can look at while I'm answering some questions. Brenda says, do you have a side-by-side comparison of your programs? I already have purchased most of them and love them all. I'm just trying to see what the differences are for the bigger ones. Yeah, let me pull up my website again here if I minimize this. So if we go over here to our website, stayatHomeBookkeeper.com is where you guys can find this. But basically, when you decide to enroll, the big key factor is mentorship. Okay, that's what I'm going to tell you guys. Like, most people that buy our courses, with Kelly here, most people that buy our courses, they dabble. They're not sure if they really want to do it. They don't really push themselves. And I know, Brenda, you've had our courses for quite a while. And I think that's very common for people to have them, but they don't really move forward. There's a lot of like unanswered questions in their head because of personal, preferences, personality, life experiences, things like that that might be holding people back. So the biggest difference is the academy's support features and mentorship. So for me, growing my business, I have been desperate for mentorship this whole time, mostly because I'm an efficiency hacker, I guess is the word. I hate wasting my time. And when you at first when you don't have a lot of money, people are willing to be like, "Oh, I'll just put a bunch of time in this, figure it out myself because I don't have the money." But then when you start making money, then you realize, "No, I don't have time. I need time. Time is way more valuable than money because you can always make more money, but you can't get that time back." And I see people that have wanted to do this for years and years, and they put it off because they think they have time, and then they look back and they're like, "Oh my God, this girl's making all this money, and her and I like bought the course at the same time, and I didn't do the academy, and I've wasted all this time." And it's like those years go by and you're in the same situation. And that can be like, for me, that's devastating because I like to grow. I like to challenge myself. I like to be in a better situation. I'm not satisfied, I guess, easily satisfied. So I'm always looking for ways to cut my success curve and go straight to success instead of like trying to weave through the maze to figure it out myself. And that's kind of what the Bookkeeper Academy does. But the difference between the two courses is that these two courses don't come with any support from our team. Payroll for my team is not built into the price of these. So when you get the courses, you're just getting the basic information. Now, the bookkeeping course is what we first started our company with, and we've had this, it's been great. Everybody has loved this course. But then we added the bookkeeping course plus just to give people another option of, hey, you want a little extra training, and I'll show you the extra things that are thrown in there. But with the bookkeeping course, you're going to get bookkeeping basics training. Like I said, you don't need to get your accounting degree. We're going to teach you what you need to know to be a successful bookkeeper there. Understanding how to read and run financial statements, how to become an expert in QuickBooks Online, how to master the mindset shift, how to work with multiple businesses, how to set up your bookkeeping business for success. So that way, you're ready for clients physically. What programs do you need to use? What software do you need to have set up? Hint, most of this is free, just so you know. How to provide amazing service to your clients. What does it look like to do their bookkeeping on a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year basis? So we show you what that looks like. What reports do they want? What do your clients expect from you? And then how to find clients and enjoy being an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, having conversations with other business owners, how to set up marketing channels and utilize the best methods of marketing your business. This is like what to do and what not to do. Where are you going to waste your time? Like we don't want you guys to run Facebook ads, things like that are going to waste your time. Send out flyers through the mail. Those things don't work. I've tried it all, trust me. So we're going to tell you what to do, what not to do. Exact steps on what you do once you get your first client. What does that look like? How do you onboard them? What does that whole process look like? So that's what you get in the bookkeeping course and the bookkeeping course plus and the academy. But then that's where it starts to differ. So now included in the bookkeeping course plus only and in the academy, you're going to get tax training. So we don't teach you how to file tax returns, but the more you know about taxes, the better bookkeeper that you can be and the more value you can provide to your clients. So we teach you a lot about taxes. And you'll get a full tax course in our bookkeeping course plus that you'll have forever access to. You also will have access to advanced bonus lessons. So we do a lot of special trainings in the academy. And sometimes when they're so good, we put them in the bookkeeping course plus so that you can have access to them in there as well. We also have a full training on mastering your discovery call. So if you have a client that's interested in bookkeeping, how do you talk to them? How do you present the value? How do you get them to say yes? So we have a whole training on step by step. How does that look, including a script of what to say on these calls. Then this is the program where we have our one program to rule them all. And this is a website, an automated onboarding tool that you can use. And we show you exactly how to set that up. So your website's done, but then you can also utilize it if you'd like to onboard your clients as well. We also have a quoting calculator tool that is proprietary to our program. In the past, only people in our academy have gotten access to it. And this shows you exactly how to quote your client. It'll give you a series of questions that you will ask a potential lead that you have, and then you'll input the answers that they give you, and it'll tell you what to charge them for the cleanup job, but then also for ongoing services. So you'll get access to that. It will also teach you how to do payroll, which is really awesome because that's another cool service that you can offer. And then you're going to get a whole bunch of recordings of financial statement reviews. So in our Bookkeeper Academy, we're actually going to review financials for you. So that way, you know you're doing a great job. And if there's anything that needs to be fixed, we'll tell you exactly what to change. But in the Bookkeeping Course Plus, you don't actually have that benefit, but you do get to see a bunch of recorded financial statement reviews. So then you'll know how to review your own financials. Now, in the academy, you're going to get a ton more. You're going to get all of that, but you're also going to have our team to review every financial statement for you for all of your clients, each one of your clients. And what we usually do is send you back like a 30-minute video showing you exactly, hey, this is all right. Here's a few things that I would change. Check into this, ask your client this, and we help you work through until those financials are perfect. And then you're going to have a dedicated success manager. So Christy is who you would be working with in our academy. Christy actually joined our academy a few years ago. She grew an awesome bookkeeping business. She has a psychology degree, and she was able to quit her full-time IT job so she could focus on her bookkeeping business. Then she retired her husband. And now her husband is homeschooling the 4 kids, working in the bookkeeping business, and she asked to come work for us full time to help be our dedicated client success manager so she could help you guys all have the same success that she did. So we have a lot of passionate team members, and a lot of them have great bookkeeping businesses as well because they went through our program. So you'll have access to her in our academy. We have a private Facebook community that we treat as a ticketing system. So you can connect with other members in there. Like I mentioned, Jen's in there, Alicia's in there, Melissa's in there, who's been in since December of 2020. We have tons of people in there that you can connect with. And we also answer every single question that's asked. And we have, on average, a 45-minute response time to every question that's asked during business hours with around-the-clock help and support. You'll get access to all of our Zoom calls, but also all of the recordings, which people outside of the academy don't get access to. And then any exclusive new bookkeepings, trainings, bonus lessons, workshops. Like I mentioned, we have our email marketing workshop and our social media workshop is also in there, and you're going to be able to have access to those lessons. We have live Q&A Zoom calls. Let's see, 4 times a week. And then we have 2 live mindset Zoom calls every single week as well. So our team's available over 70 hours to help you grow your business. So that's the difference between the 3 programs. And it just depends on where you're at financially, with your mindset on spending and investing in yourself, and also your goals with your family. Do you charge a fee when assisting your students with clients? So, Teresa, anybody that's in our academy, we do not nickel and dime people in our academy. Once you pay the fee to be in the academy, we don't charge you anything else. The only other thing that you would ever pay us for is if you wanted to upgrade into our restaurant mastermind, you wanted to do our tropical mastermind, maybe you wanted to do one-on-one coaching with me or one person on our team. You can always upgrade for those things, but those are all typically things that students do later on after they're wanting to scale their business. For example, Kaylee Douglas has gone on 2 tropical masterminds with me and my husband. And what we do is we go to Jamaica for 4 days and we sit and talk business and give her tips on how to grow, scale, build her team, run her operations. But we also have a restaurant mastermind. Jen is in there now. She's been in the restaurant mastermind for about 7 months and has added an extra $53,000 to her business, specifically servicing restaurants. So there's lots of things you can do after these levels as well. The only other additional fees outside of the payment plan are some optional. Let me share my screen again here. Some optional, what's the word I'm looking for? Marketing expenses. So let me show you what typically the expenses are like. Where's that slide? Okay, so startup and ongoing expenses that you would incur in addition to the academy is filing for your LLC. So we have a company that'll do that for you. And they charge, I think, around $300 to file it for you. And then you'll pay state fees. So depending on where you live, it can range anywhere from $50 up to $800 if you're in California. Then we recommend after you get your first client, you get errors and omissions insurance, which is around $30 a month. You don't have to do that until you have a paying client. We do recommend that you get your own domain. So like you'll have a company branded email address. So it would be instead of, so-and-so at gmail.com, it would be like info@stayatHomeBookkeeper.com, something like that. So we have you do your domain, which is very cheap, like max is like $15 a year. Your email account is going to be anywhere from $8 to $12 a month. And then the only other thing you have to pay for is a computer or a laptop, internet. You might want Microsoft Excel, and then QuickBooks Accountant and all those other programs are free. So you don't have to pay for those, which is really great. And then I can go over the marketing here pretty soon too, so you guys can see there are some optional programs that you can purchase for marketing, but they aren't necessary. You don't have to get them, but they are optional, and they usually range around $50 a month for the different ones that you want or could use. Let's see. Can I start this business with a family member and we would just pay the $29.97 fee for the academy? So if you, yes, if you want to get in, you can pay the $29.97 to get in for the tax season special. You could definitely do that. And then the only time we let two people into the academy under one price point is number one, if they're spouses. So if you're married and you want to do this, we would love for you and your spouse to be on the same page. So we'll let both of you guys in under one fee. Or if you are going to do this with a family member and you guys want to be 50-50 partners or a partnership on an LLC, and you give us the LLC document showing that you guys are partners, we will let you both in under one fee. Otherwise, I would recommend that if you're going to do this with a family member, like let's say, for example, Teresa, you be the business owner and you guys pay the fee together, however you want to work that, you'll get into the academy, learn what you need to learn, and then you train your family member to, work with you, be your bookkeeper, things like that. That's what we typically recommend if you don't want to go into partnership with someone. Sometimes getting into a partnership with other people can be a little bit hairy if you guys end up deciding to go a different direction later. And if you guys want to both start your own bookkeeping business separately, then you would both pay the fee. So great question. Carrie, when you do QuickBooks, when you're a bookkeeper, you're going to do QuickBooks Online Accountant version, and that is free. So once you sign up for QuickBooks Online Accountant, and I walk you through that in our courses and in our academy, then you'll set that up for free, and then that's where you'll be able to access all of your bookkeeping clients from that one same login, and then you'll use that program to do your own bookkeeping for your bookkeeping business. And QuickBooks lets us have it for free, which is great. How soon do you need to apply for the LLC before you get clients? So not necessarily. You can apply for your LLC at any point in time. We recommend doing it at the beginning just because once you do it, it's done and you don't ever have to do it again. So it's kind of nice to go ahead and just do it and check it off. And we do it for two reasons. One, it's extra layer of liability protection because when you're a business owner or whatever, I mean, you just always want to make sure you're protected. You'll have insurance, right? And things like that. But Also, we have you do the LLC because you can get some really great tax advantages by having your LLC. These bookkeeping businesses are very, very, very profitable. And so, in order to help you guys minimize the amount you have to pay in taxes, we have you file an LLC so you can be taxed as an S Corp. Usually, this comes into play during your second year of business, sometimes your first year if you guys start, since you guys are going to be starting early, it's February, you might want to file for your LLC before the end of the year. But it's nice to go ahead and knock that out and get it out of the way. But if money is an issue, then I would say you can just wait. It's not a big deal to get it right away. Have to get going, but I'm very interested in a tax season special and watch the remainder of the video. You are very welcome. Happy to answer any questions. And if anybody else, has more questions later today too, I'll keep going over some more stuff, but we're happy to hop on phone calls and finish out answering any questions that you guys have. Again, if you guys enroll today, I'll throw in that extra Sweet Leads course trainings too, so you guys can see how I'm going to get 50 clients this year. And that's if people purchase by the end of today. So we're happy to hop on calls with anybody and chat about that kind of stuff. So let me go back to my presentation here so I can share with you guys a little bit more of the roadmap of what this looks like. I've kind of jumped around a little bit to answer questions, but I want to show you guys a couple really cool things. Like, how long does it take you to reach your goals to get up there? I kind of already showed you that with the cleanup jobs, you can cover your payment in the academy for most of the time throughout the entire, maybe just from your first or second cleanup job. But I want to show you what it's typically like as far as like consistent monthly income coming in, because what we're going to teach you is, yes, you're going to get a big payout for the cleanup jobs, but what we're really looking for is that consistent monthly income that you get coming into your business, because that's going to be what you can rely on. And that's why, like when I was pregnant with the twins, I could just stop marketing and I just did the basic work because my clients paid me every single month. And I know how much I was going to be making every single month, even if I stopped marketing. So I didn't have to worry or stress about marketing, which is cool. So I want to show you what that looks like to build up consistent, dependable, reoccurring income that you get every single month. And we show you how to set it up to where it automatically leaves the business owner's account and goes into your business account on the first of the month, every single month. And this is what happens. So I'll show you this, that I think I had a couple questions on this. How do we make money but move profits to personal account? So, to pay personal debt. So what you do is you're going to set up your LLC, set up your business checking account. Then when you get clients, we're going to show you how to set up what's called a reoccurring sales receipt inside QuickBooks. And when that reoccurring sales receipt processes every month, it's going to automatically take the money out of the business owner's account, put it into your business account. And then once it's deposited in there, you can do whatever you want with that money. So what you'll do is you'll transfer it to your personal account, and then you'll take it from your personal account and pay off debt or move it to a savings or pay your bills or wherever you want to do with it. So that's all you have to do. It gets deposited into your business, you transfer it to your personal, and you do whatever the heck you want with it. Okay? It's really awesome. It's really awesome. And then, okay. All right, Carrie, no problem. She has to go too. Okay. So what we typically see in the academy is when our students are working through the marketing process and they're picking up new clients and they're getting these cleanup jobs, but they're also getting this ongoing monthly maintenance fee from their clients. They add about $1,000 of monthly reoccurring income for every month they are in business on average. So if you look at this chart, like I mentioned, you can make $5,000 a month in your bookkeeping business within just a few short months. That's 5 months away. So by right after the 4th of July, you could already be at $5,000 a month in reoccurring revenue. That doesn't even count what you could have made from gathering all of those clients and doing their cleanup work too. So really quickly, you could be up to this stage, which is really exciting. This does vary depending on some factors. People reach these levels quicker during tax season, times like this. But then they also, maybe go a little bit slower because they're working on their mindset or their confidence or something like that. So it can vary. It also depends on, do you work full time and have 5 kids? Or do you work part-time and have no kids? You're going to have different amount of time commitment that you can put into it. So you can get up to these figures pretty fast. And what we typically see is our students double their business every year too, which is really cool. But based on this, what do you guys need to make? What are you looking to make? How many of you have a starting goal of like, I don't know, maybe $3, $4, $5,000 a month? How many months will it take you to get there? Would you guys all be able to reach your goals by summertime if you started now? Type that in the chat. So in terms of also like clients, okay, if you're going to make this kind of money, how many clients do you actually need, right? So here's a chart that kind of shows the breakdown. On average, we see our students get clients anywhere from like 300 all the way up to like 2,000 or even $3,000 a month. But on average, it's about 500 bucks a month per client is what we see. So if you want to make $5,000 a month in your bookkeeping business by the 4th of July, you're going to need about 10 clients. That's it, 10 clients. So now, like if you want to, when I was working in my business and I was making 20,000, it says you need 40. I only had about 33 and I was making 20,000, which is cool. So it's kind of a range, right? When Kim got her first client, paid her $21.97 a month, she only needed one instead of four at this first milestone. So look at this chart. I'd love for you guys to type in the chat, how many clients do you need to reach your first goal? And type that in the chat. Do you need 4? Do you need 8? Do you need 10? What do you think that would be for you? And then I want you guys to take a look here. Great question. I'm going to show you that on the next slide, one of the next slides, Leanna. She said 10 clients is how many hours per week? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you that in just a sec. So Mary needs about 6 to 8 clients. So take a look at this potential client pool that we have. So this chart is from the SBA.gov website, and it shows the number of small businesses in the US from 2017 through 2022. So in 2022, there were 33.2 million businesses in existence. Million. Mary only needs 6 to 8 to reach her goal. And she has 33.2 million businesses to choose from. In fact, there's over 500,000 businesses starting every single month. Every month. And, because tax season sucks, working in a CPA firm sucks. There are bookkeepers and CPAs retiring, but there's nobody to replace them because nobody wants to work for low pay and long hours during tax season. So there's tons and tons of clients out there that need help. Literally, there are clients everywhere. There's never going to be a shortage. There's never going to be competition. And there's never going to be enough bookkeepers out there to help everybody. So what's really cool, though, is bookkeeping is not a luxury item that you've got to try and convince somebody to purchase. It's a required service. Every business owner knows they have to do their bookkeeping. They have to do it for tax purposes. They have to do it in case they get audited. They have to do it if they want to get loans. And they have to do it if they want to run a good business. Otherwise, they're just running blind. So this is something that all business owners already know is valuable. You don't even have to be a good salesperson to get them to say yes. But like Leanna asked, my favorite slideshow of the entire presentation is the time commitment that it takes at the various income levels. Now, I know this to be true because I experienced it in the CPA firm. Then I experienced it when I had my own bookkeeping business. And now I've experienced it thousands of times over, helping thousands of other people grow their own bookkeeping business and experience this as well. So if you want to make $5,000 a month in your bookkeeping business, you only have to work 10 hours a week to do the bookkeeping work. That's it. 10 hours. How many of you make $5,000 a month right now? And if you do, how much do you work? Do you work more than 10 hours a week? I'm going to guess yes. And if you do, that means doing something like this is going to be advantageous for you and your family, right? Majorly. Now, obviously, if you're going to be marketing, that's going to take some more of your time. This is basically just bookkeeping. That's why I said whenever I had the twins and I wanted to cut back and I just wanted to service the clients I had, I wasn't interested in growing. I was perfectly content where I was because I wanted to maximize my time at home and with my family. Then I felt like I didn't have to work hardly at all. It took me a couple hours a day to do all the bookkeeping, and I could do whatever I wanted the rest of the time. It was amazing. So, if you look at this chart too, um, down at the 40 hours a week at the bottom, you can make $20,000 a month if you just want to work a normal 40-hour work week. And that's what I built it up to. I ended up, actually what happened is after the twins were born, I fell into the CPA partnership, and this guy had just bought an accounting and tax firm, but he only liked doing the tax part. So he had a team of bookkeepers, but he didn't know how to run the department. And he was losing money on the bookkeeping side because his bookkeepers were so slow and they didn't know what they were doing. So he actually ended up firing his bookkeeping department and offloading all of his clients to me. This was in the last year that I had my business, and I was able to, ramp up to $20,000 a month, still working less than full time and taking over all of his clients. And I've had so many of my students have that situation happen to them. That's why we have this email marketing workshop where we connect you guys with tax pros, because so many tax people, they only like to do the taxes. They don't like to do the bookkeeping, which is so crazy to me. They have no idea what they're missing out on. One of these days I might do some kind of like coaching thing for tax pros, just get them to understand how much money they're missing out on by giving up their bookkeeping. But for now, you guys get to benefit on that. So anyway, you can make a lot of money on that. And I knew this was true because when I worked in my the CPA firm before I started my business, I saw what my boss charged, but I did the bookkeeping work. So I knew how long it took me. And so I knew if I quit my job so I could stay home with my third child after she was born, that I would only have to work about 4 to 6 hours a week to make the same take-home pay that I was making after paying my nanny. So that's what made it a no-brainer for me to quit my job. 10 would be great within the first year. Has anyone given questions about how AI could impact bookkeepers and CPAs? Yeah, it's so funny to me how many people are concerned about that. But I don't know about you guys, but every time I try to leverage AI, it always messes things up and I have to go in and fix it. And QuickBooks is no different. So the cool thing about AI is there is some AI built into QuickBooks now, which is awesome, but you have to know how to leverage it. And the business owners not only don't have enough knowledge or time to do their own bookkeeping, they don't have the time to understand QuickBooks and then therefore also understand how the AI works inside QuickBooks to be able to make sure it's working right. And then they have no idea how to check and make sure it's all done correctly. And of course, that's going to be your primary job. So we're going to show you how to do all of that stuff, and it's going to be like a cakewalk. No pun intended. But AI is never going to completely replace bookkeepers. All I've ever seen it do is mess up the books even more, and then the bookkeepers have to go in and fix it. Every single time we connect another software with QuickBooks or a business owner does that, it messes up their books so bad that we have to basically start from scratch, which is the best way to go because then you can just zoom through it when you do the cleanup job. You don't have to fix their mistakes. But great question. Leanna says the email marketing is included in the Course Plus. It's not included in the Course Plus, but it is included during the tax season special because you're going to get access to the Academy. So, but once you go through the Academy and you have access to the email marketing workshop and the social media workshop, even if you decide not to renew at the end of April, you're always and forever going to have that information in your head, and you're going to have that stuff set up on your social media. So it's not like we're ever going to take it away from you just because you don't have access to the Academy. So it's a really great deal because most of the time people have to pay $12,000 to be able to get access to that information and be in our Academy for a year to utilize it. But you guys are going to be able to utilize it and only have to put the $3,000 into it and kind of get access to that part for free, which is cool. Great question. Okay, so just so you guys know, for those of you that feel skeptical in any way about like this all sounds perfect, right? It sounds, too good to be true. How the heck does this work? If this works so well, why doesn't everybody do it? All those normal things. And I'm going to show you exactly why it works out this way, why some of you might think it sounds too good to be true, only because maybe you haven't been a business owner before and looked at it from that perspective. But I will say also too, this is growing a business. So, there's hard work involved and sometimes there is sacrifices involved. And the reason that everybody doesn't do it is because not everybody is willing to do it, right? They're not willing to put in the work to have an awesome life. Um, I wonder if I have this one quote on here. I'll have to look. There was this really good quote that I was saving, but I don't know where it's at. Okay. So, whoops, where did my notes go? There we go. So I want to walk you guys through like the science behind why it works out this way. And I think a couple of you guys that work in CPA firms can probably back me up in the chat here. But there's a couple of key pillars that actually make the results that I've been talking about possible. One of the most important things is really understanding how to properly quote. Obviously, if you don't understand how to quote and you undercharge or undervalue your services, you're not going to make $100 an hour, right? You're not going to reach that level of monthly income with that level of time commitment involved. Because if you undercharge, you won't make that kind of money, right? So you really have to understand, what are these services worth? How do I structure my quotes? What is a fair price? Every business is different, and how do we figure that out? So this is another reason why this tax season special could be great, because in the Bookkeeping Course Plus, you're going to get access to our quoting tool, but in the Academy, you're going to get access to our team helping you and walking you through quotes, which is really, really valuable. So for example, Sylvia in our Academy, she used the quoting tool and figured out that this new construction client she got, it was recommending about $500 a month. However, this client was a little unique, wanted a couple extra things that the quoting tool just, isn't built for. And so she asked our mentors, hey, they're wanting me to do this and this. And our mentor said, okay, in my experience with doing those things, I would highly recommend charging them $1,000 a month, not 500. And so she wouldn't have even known that because she didn't work with a construction client before, but she went back to this client. He was like, sure, let's just do $1,000 a month. And then she was able to make an extra $500 per month on this client than what she thought she was going to charge. That alone right there, covers the difference in investment. Like an extra 500 above and beyond what she thought times 12 months, a minimum of when she's going to keep this client. She'll probably keep the client for forever or for maybe 4 or 5 years. I don't know. Let's say she keeps the client for 5 years. It's an extra $30,000 in income that she's got just from getting our advice, right? But proper quoting is one of the important parts to getting these results. Second part is understanding how to do this work in an efficient manner. Because if you quote right, but then it takes you 3 times longer to get the work done than the bookkeepers in our academy do, because you're just not sure how to do it efficiently, obviously you won't make $100 an hour. You're going to make less because it's taking you a really long time, right? So we're going to show you how to do the work in a really efficient, streamlined way. We're going to show you when, hey, that's actually like not important. Don't work on that. That's busy work. Or we're also going to show you, hey, your client is asking you for something that's outside of the scope of your engagement. Let's raise his price. Let's go back and requote him. So we'll be able to help you identify those areas. So that way we're really, really protecting your results here in the Academy. That's what we do. We protect your results so that way you get the $100 per hour that bookkeepers deserve, because what we do is very valuable. The other thing too is when we teach you how to do this stuff, we're going to help you put these things in place with the proper quoting and the efficient workflow so that you can build your business with the end in mind. So a lot of you might be on here thinking, I want to start this business just to give myself a little bit of extra income or get out of this job or spend more time with my kids. But you may not be thinking about, other things that you could think about down the road. So for example, what if in about 6 months or 12 months or 2 years from now, you want to hire someone to work for you? We want you to already have everything in place so that way you don't have to change up a bunch of stuff just so you hire employees. Because I ran into that when I had my business. I set it up perfectly for me and my husband to work in there. And then when I hired other people, then I had to figure out, oh, I need to do some things differently. Well, we want to help you get everything set up so that way, whenever you do decide to hire someone, you're going to be, really, really profitable for these employees as well. So if you take a look at this chart again, like I mentioned, if you work 40 hours a week in your business, you can make $20,000 a month. Well, let's say you want to hire somebody full time to work 40 hours a week for you. You're going to have $20,000 a month of bookkeeping revenue coming in, right? And then you got to pay your employee. Well, what's the going rate for that? Right now, from what I see, people joining our academy and leaving bookkeeping and accounting jobs, they're making anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500 per month in their jobs. So let's say you guys want to be really great bosses and you're going to pay them $5,000 a month. That still leaves you $15,000 left over profit for your family after paying your full-time employee. So this is a really great business model to set it up this way, because even as you scale, even if you want to hire employees, you guys are still going to have enough money and enough profit coming in to be able to maintain the work-life balance and the financial freedom that you desire, which is really cool. And then last, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, I sold my business, and we want to be able to help you guys set it up with these things in mind. So if you want to sell your business in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or 20 years down the road, you can. So when they're small, you can sell them for 1 times annual revenue. So let's say you grow your business up to where you're making $200,000 per year, you can sell it for potentially $200,000. But if you grow them bigger, let's say you work on this business for 5 or 6 years and you're now making $1 million a year. I know somebody that got offered $2.2 million for her $1 million accounting and bookkeeping firm. So potential to really make this into a retirement plan for you as well. Oh, hey, Connie, I see you on here. So these businesses are really, really attractive to potential buyers or investors because of a few things. Number one, there's dependent, reoccurring, and consistent income coming in every month because of your monthly maintenance fees. There's also that super high profit margin after you hire a full-time employee. And once we build you up and build you out of this, the owner, which would be you, we could remove you from the operations and everything will still run on its own. And that's when investors like to buy businesses, when they can come in, everything's still going, they don't have to do anything, and the business still runs. So we're going to help you, start off, set the foundation so you're going to be able to do all of that. So does that all that stuff make a little bit more sense to you guys on like the why it works this way? You're really thinking more like a business owner instead of an employee, whereas most people are thinking like employees because that's all they've ever been. But if you think about it, your boss has to think this way in order to have enough money to pay you and everybody else on the team and also have money left over for himself and his family, right? So now we're going to put you in that CEO seat. You're going to be in the same seat that your boss is in. Okay. So marketing. Oh, yes. Okay. 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 I haven't told you guys about the marketing plan yet. So do you guys want to see what all we teach for marketing in the academy? Does that sound good? All right. Awesome. So usually our students only spend about an hour or so a day on marketing, sometimes more in the beginning, and then as they take on some clients, then they scale it down, but we do recommend trying to be as consistent as possible with your marketing. And there are three main methods that we teach our students to get clients. Whether you do one method or all three of them, they've been proven to get you to 6 figures in your first year. So where you're making $100,000 or you're set up to make reoccurring revenue of $8,000 to $10,000 by the end of the year. You can choose which ones you want to do. They all work great, depends on time, personality preferences, things like that. I personally recommend you do them all because you're not going to know what you like to do until you've tried them. But the first thing that we teach is organic social media marketing. We help you utilize the platforms you're most familiar with so that way you can find and connect with business owners. Some people use Facebook, Facebook groups, some people use LinkedIn and LinkedIn groups, some people use Instagram, etc. There's tons. So we actually show you how to post content that gets business owners interested and reaching out to you. It attracts them, and then they want to book discovery calls with you. Typically, there's no cost associated with this, and we currently have a social media workshop going on right now where we have 365 templates that we show you how to customize and spend a little bit of time scheduling them out for the whole year, and then it's set up and done, and you don't have to worry about your social media content for the whole rest of the year, which is awesome. If you decide to use our scheduling tool to schedule those all out, I believe it's $97 a month to utilize that program, or you can just post everything on your own for free every day. You could just post, it takes 5 seconds to post on all these things, and then you'd be done. If you want to use that program, though, it'll automatically schedule them all out for you, which can save you a ton of time. All right. And then next thing we teach is networking groups. So this has been really, really powerful for a lot of our students. We show you how to find in-person or online networking groups where other business owners hang out. And we help you create a strategy when you're attending these groups so you know exactly how to make the most use of your time and how to get clients from these groups. So we'll show you how you can not only get referrals, but also establish referral partners in these groups so that other people are basically doing your marketing for you. And then they're going to most likely send their clients to you for bookkeeping, maybe even their friends and family as well. Some of these groups are free, but the really good ones do have an investment. So, for example, for me, I joined an industry exclusive group where I was the only bookkeeper allowed. Cost me about $500 for an annual membership, but I actually made about $82,000 in my first year of being a member of that group. If you choose one of these groups, then you'll probably need to factor in gas and maybe a meal because sometimes they meet over lunch or dinner, which is awesome. I love this group. It turned into a second little family for me, which was really awesome. And I look forward to going each week. Very, very powerful there. Then the next thing is our email marketing. Like I mentioned, we have an email marketing workshop that you can go through in our academy as well. And we help our students learn how to gather large lists of business owners and large lists of tax offices. And then we show you how to deploy email campaigns. So that way you can try to get new clients and new tax partnerships. And people will respond to these emails and they'll want to set up calls with you to talk about either bookkeeping services if they're a business owner or partnering with you to offload their tax clients for bookkeeping help if they're a tax office, which this has been really instrumental in helping our students grow. Very easy to set up. Doesn't really cost anything to do. You can do it for free, but we do have a couple of programs that we do recommend that you use if you want to do this on a massive scale. Those range anywhere from like $50 a month, depending on how many that you want to do. I think there's like 2 or 3 different programs. They all cost about $50 a month. So, but you can do this for free as well. And so I'd love to know if you guys look at that, there's 3 different methods: social media, networking, and email. Or if you want to do all of them, type a 4 in the chat. What marketing method would you choose when you join the academy? What would that look like for you guys? All right, Teresa's going to do them all. I love it. All right. So I think I've told you guys mostly everything about how this works and what it looks like, but would you like to see how we support our students even more, a little bit more detail of what the academy looks like? All right. The first thing is we have a members only Facebook group, like I mentioned. And in this group, we have about 200 or so students in their first year. about 30 to 40 students in their second, third, fourth years, all the way through December 2020. And you get to learn and network and communicate with them as well. We also have like 8 to 10 different coaches who are all experts in growing a bookkeeping business. You'll have them at your disposal. Also, experts in marketing, sales, mindset, quoting, all of that kind of stuff, taxes, everything. So, you'll have access to all of those people, which is going to be really great. But we treat the Facebook group like a ticketing system. So, you'll be posting questions in there, and we are going to answer everything. Examples of some good questions would be related to having sales conversations or discovery calls, marketing, quoting, QuickBooks Online questions, technical bookkeeping or tax questions, efficiency and workflow questions, mindset questions, all of those good things. And then we answer questions 6 days a week. Sunday's the only day that we're off. But if you ask a question on Sunday or after hours, we do answer them too, just at the next start of the next shift. But if you ask a question during the shift, we have on average a 30 to 45-minute response time for every single question. So you're going to get very, very, very fast answers that'll help you, streamline to the next step of the program so that way you can get your results really fast. We also have anywhere from like 7 to 8, sometimes 10 Zoom calls every week. And the main ones are scheduled at 12 p.m. Central Time. The Monday and Friday calls fluctuate a little bit. Those are our mindset calls. We start and end the week with mindset. They're topic specific. The Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday calls are more of general Q&A. We call them office hours. And this is where we help you through the bookkeeping work, understanding all of that, understanding how to quote, those kinds of things. So a lot of times what we do is we have people stay on those calls to just learn and listen. You can type in the chat if you have questions. You can submit a question ahead of time to get in line. You can unmute and ask questions. There's just totally whatever you feel comfortable with. Although we do, want you to utilize these calls a lot because you're going to get the most out of it by participating in these calls. And it's great practice too. If you're kind of on the shyer side, like I was when I started my bookkeeping business, it's great practice to start talking on these calls so that you don't feel as shy when you talk to business owners. But they're set for an hour long, but a lot of times we stay on a lot longer than that until every question has been answered. So sometimes they last 2 to 3 hours. So you can pop in and off. You can have it running in the background. It's really flexible. You can sit and listen the whole time. You could do your bookkeeping work while you're listening. It's pretty nice. But like I mentioned, we also have our client success. It's not really a director per se, but a client success coach. This is Christy. She's our graduate of our academy that had so much success and wanted to come back and help coach other people. But she's going to support you one-on-one over email and text, and she'll give you a call every once in a while, especially if you need a little extra boost in support. And then she'll help you with your step-by-step process through day one through however long you're in the academy, whether it's now through April 30th or all the way till next year or 2 years from now. She's going to keep working with you and help you know exactly what you need to do every single day. She'll help hold you accountable to your goals, which is a big perk outside of doing it by yourself and doing the DIY course. No one's going to be holding you accountable. No one's going to be pushing you or helping you along or answering your questions, but she will be if you're in the academy. And then she'll direct you to the quickest and best support option, depending on your questions. So whether you have access to the Bookkeeping Course Plus or the Bookkeeper Academy coursework, there's a lot of coursework there and you don't need to watch all of it right away. So she's going to direct you to the part that is going to be the most beneficial, depending on the stage that you're at in your business. So that's helpful. And of course, she's super supportive and motivational. And then, of course, you'll have access to the coursework, tons and tons of coursework. This is more than you'll ever need to be successful in a bookkeeping business. But it'd be a lot to sit and try to watch all of this before taking on clients or anything like that. So in our academy, we point you to the coursework that you need based on the situation that you're in. And over time, you'll absorb all of this information, but you'll be doing it as you're building a wonderfully profitable business. So, anybody have any questions about that? Does that sound like something that you guys are wanting to do? I figure I will stop sharing my screen really quick and give you guys some links here again for those of you that are still on here. So let's see. Make this smaller and type your questions in the chat. I'm happy to stay on as long as needed to answer anything. First link I'm going to be dropping in here is our informational landing page that talks all about our Bookkeeper Academy. It's got the countdown at the top. 12 days until this tax season special is over. So you want to get in before that. But if you do get in before that, you can utilize this link here to purchase the $29.97 down. And if you purchase that today, then I'm going to throw in the recordings to our Sweet Leads marketing update calls. So that way you guys can see exactly how I'm going to be doing the marketing for some of our Sweet Lead student members. And you'll be able to see how I get 50 clients in the next 10 months. So that'll be really cool if you want to go ahead and grab that. And then the third option is applying for funding. Now, you can only apply for funding if you're willing to do our 12-month, $12,000 program. And that's the link there. You'll want to apply for $12,000, and then you'll only have to put a $640 payment down. So whichever one of those is going to be better for you, the $29.97 or the funding option will work. Leanna said, definitely need to work on mindset and confidence. What help is there for that? Yes, great question. So twice a week we have calls, and they're called Overcoming What's Blocking You. And this call is really great. You can participate in it as much as you feel comfortable, or you can listen to other people. You can just participate in the chat, whatever is best for you. Sometimes we have students that'll like come on and they'll want to be on the hot seat, and they'll want to say, you know, this is what's holding me back. I keep having these thoughts in my head. I keep thinking these things. I know it's holding me back, but I don't know what to do. And so our coach will help them change their perspective, challenge those thoughts, challenge those stories that they may be telling themselves, like, I'm not good at marketing, or I'm too shy to do this, or no one would ever pay me those prices. You know, we all tell ourselves lies. We all tend to self-sabotage because we're scared, or we have some kind of a fear around it. And those are the only things that ever hold anyone back. It's not because you're not good at marketing or because there aren't enough clients out there. It's because of what we believe in our mind to be true. And so our mindset coach helps you kind of break past that. Our mindset coach is named Robin, and I actually hired Robin years ago to be my own mindset coach and my own parent coach. She has coached a lot of people on how to be the best parent they can be, and you know, feel good about how to raise their kids, you know, good, happy kids and a happy family without a bunch of yelling and screaming, which is hard to do when you got 5 kids. But so she's helped me with that a lot. And then she also started helping our students in the academy. And then she was like, I'm helping all these students break past all these blocks, and now they're having massive success. And I kind of want to have some of their success. So her and her husband also started a bookkeeping business. And because Robin isn't held back by a lot of the mindset blocks that, you know, some of our students face, she's already, you know, conquered a lot of those. She was able to have some really fast success. And in the first couple of months of being in the academy, I think in the first like 4 months, she made over $20,000 just being in the academy herself. So mindset is a really big component to our academy, because if you have something holding you back, that's going to be you know, keeping you from success. We want to figure out what that is and help you move past it, so that way you can really utilize all the other support features of the academy. Like I mentioned too, specifically with confidence, if you look at my podcast playlist on YouTube, on where I interviewed Jen Beckwith, she's the one that had the $32,000 cleanup job. And she's just made tons of money. It's probably got to be over $200,000 by now. And she's only been in for about a year and a half. And the first 2 months, all she did was work on confidence and her mindset, because she was lacking that confidence too. You know, life beats us down, right? And all of our training, typically going to college and stuff like that, prepares you to be an employee. So then jumping into being a business owner can be a completely new, situation for most people. So we want to help you guys get some confidence around that. Always working on your mindset. It's something that I have to work on continuously as well. I don't think anybody's ever perfect when it comes to their mindset. There's always something that creeps up, that holds you from moving forward. And this is one reason why I think people that buy our DIY course are typically not successful. And if you watch that interview on the tax season special link that I posted on here, where Kelly reached six figures with her bookkeeping business, she talks about how she hired several other mentors as well. She just kind of stumbled across them, didn't realize that we offered that kind of support in our academy too. And she's paid, tons of money for coaches and mentors as well. So even though she was successful with our bookkeeping course alone, she really didn't do it alone. It's very hard to have success completely alone, which is why the Academy exists. Truthfully, when I started the Bookkeeper Academy back in 2019, I never had a plan of actually having a big, robust support feature. I was planning on selling a course and making it passive income for my family, but I realized that nobody can grow a business that way. It's too hard to learn everything by yourself, and it's too frustrating, to be honest. It's nice to have somebody tell you, no, do this, not that. Yeah, you're doing that right, but here's how it would make it faster. Getting tips like that, it's just such a huge peace of mind for most people. I know I love it. I currently just hired a new marketing coach for me. And it's just been like, I just feel like a huge weight has been lifted off. Like, he's going to help me build out some of these things that I've been trying to figure out on my own for the academy for the last year. And it just feels like this giant weight off to be told what to do every once in a while. So I think you guys will really, really get a kick out of it. So I'd love to know out of everybody that's still on here, has anybody signed up for the Bookkeeping Course Plus or applied for funding yet? If you have, drop in the chat if you've done that. If you plan on doing it today, drop that in the chat as well. And don't forget, I'll give you guys all free access to the Sweet Leads update calls as well for signing up today, including if you do apply for funding, I will include that in there as well. So let me know. And then, of course, if you guys have any questions too, drop those in the chat as well. And my husband will be texting all of you guys later this afternoon. So if you guys have any more questions about this that I haven't answered, or if it pops up later, we're happy to just text you if you prefer texting. We're also happy to hop on a quick phone call. We're not like going to pressure anybody to do this. We feel very passionate about this as an option for all of you guys. But we also know that everybody's lives are different, and we want to make sure this works out really, really well for you. And it's, what you want to do. So we're here to help you if you've got any questions, and we can go from there. So I am getting ready to take my 6-year-old twins on a lunch date while this recording processes, and then we'll send that all out to you guys after that. So thank you, Brenda. It's so good to see you on here again. I look forward to working with you. Oh, Karen says, can I use an iPad? You can use an iPad to get started. QuickBooks does have an app that I think works well with an iPad, but after a while, you'll probably want to use some of your bookkeeping money to invest into a laptop or a computer at some point. Just for efficiency, it'll take too long on there. But thank you guys so much. Look forward to seeing you guys all in the Academy for this tax season special. Even if we only get to work with you until April 30th, I am excited about that possibility. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon. Alrighty, bye.